Today, we're diving into something that pretty much shapes everything: your job, your relationships, even how you feel about yourself. It's called emotional intelligence. And spoiler alert, it's not about ignoring your feelings. It's about getting smart with your feelings. So, let's get into it.
It's kind of wild to think that thousands of years ago, Aristotle was already putting his finger on this. Anyone can get angry. That's the easy part. But doing it the right way, wow, that's tough. And he was so right. This quote perfectly nails the difference between just feeling something and actually using that feeling wisely. That's the puzzle we're trying to solve with emotional intelligence.
Okay, let's kick things off with something that might actually blow your mind a little. We're all taught that being book smart, having a high IQ, is the key to success. But what if I told you that's only a tiny piece of the pie? Research shows that IQ only accounts for about 20% of life success, just 20. So what about the other massive 80%? Well, a huge chunk of that comes down to other factors, and emotional intelligence is right at the top of the list.
All right, so what are we even talking about when we say emotional intelligence, or EI? Well, put simply, it's about knowing what you're feeling and why you're feeling it. It's also about tuning into what other people are feeling. And then, and this is the important part, it's about using all that information to guide how you act and how you connect with people. And the best part? This isn't something you're just born with. Nope, it's a skill. And like any skill, you can totally learn it.
Okay, so if we're going to start building these skills, we've got to understand the machine we're working with, right? So let's pop the hood and take a look at our own brains. Because if you understand why your feelings work the way they do, it's a whole lot easier to figure out how to manage them.
So buried deep in your brain, you've got this tiny little thing called the amygdala. Don't let the size fool you, though. It's incredibly powerful. Think of it like your brain's security guard, or its emotional sentinel. It's constantly scanning everything. And in a split second, way before your logical brain even has a clue what's happening, it's decided, is this a threat? Is this good? Or can I ignore it? That instant flash of anger you get, or that sudden jolt of fear, yep, that's your amygdala on the job.
So all those gut feelings you have, turns out they're not just random fuzz. They're actually super fast data coming straight from your emotional brain. They're like little signposts pointing out what really matters to you, and they're crucial for making decisions. It's pretty amazing, actually. Scientists have found that people who have damage to these emotional parts of the brain can list all the pros and cons of a decision, but they can't actually make the choice. They've lost their internal compass.
Okay, now we get to the really cool part. This is the bit that should get you excited. Your IQ, it pretty much stays the same throughout your life, but your emotional brain, it's like putty. It can change, and the reason for this is something called neuroplasticity. It's just a fancy word that means your brain can literally rewire itself. It can form new connections based on what you do and what you practice. So those emotional habits you think are stuck with you forever, they're not. They are absolutely not set in stone. And this is the key takeaway, right here. You are the architect of your own emotional brain. Seriously. Every single time you choose to take a breath instead of snapping back, or every time you really try to see where someone else is coming from, you are physically building new roads in your brain. You're creating pathways for better, smarter emotional responses. And the best news of all? It doesn't matter how old you are. This kind of change is always possible.
Hey, if this roadmap is already starting to click for you, do me a quick favor and like this explainer. It's such a small thing, but it genuinely helps other people who are struggling with this find their own path to focus.
Right, so we've had a look at the hardware, the brain. Now let's talk about the software, the skills you can actually run on it. We can break emotional intelligence down into 4 main skills. Just think of them as the must-have apps in your toolkit for navigating your emotions.
First up, and this is the big one, self-awareness. Everything, and I mean everything, starts here. It's just the skill of recognizing your own emotions in the moment. It's the difference between being completely consumed by anger versus being able to step back just a little and think, I'm feeling really angry right now. That little bit of space is the whole foundation. After all, how can you manage a feeling if you don't even know it's there?
Okay, number 2 is self-control. And let's be clear, this does not mean you have to bottle up your feelings or pretend they don't exist. Not at all. It's all about creating a little pause, a tiny gap between feeling an emotion and acting on it. And in that little gap, that's where you find your power. The power to choose how you respond instead of just letting your emotions hijack you. It's the moment you decide to take a deep breath instead of, firing off that angry email.
All right, skill number 3 is empathy. This is where we shift our focus from me to we. Empathy is all about tuning into the people around you.
It's about picking up on the little things, the slight frown, the change in tone, the hesitation in their voice. It's the skill that lets us build a bridge from our own head into someone else's, and that's where real connection happens.
And finally, number 4, social skill. This is kind of the grand finale, where all the other skills come together to perform. You take your self-awareness, your self-control, and your empathy, and you put them into action. This is how you build great relationships, handle disagreements smoothly, and even inspire the people around you. It's basically your emotional intelligence on display for the world to see.
How do you actually do it, like in real life? Well, the good news is you don't have to go on some week-long retreat. You can start building these emotional muscles with a few simple techniques. And you can start, well, right now.
Here's a super simple one for building that core self-awareness muscle. It's a daily emotional check-in. Just 3 quick pauses in your day. In the morning, just ask yourself, how am I feeling right now? And put a name to it. Sometime around midday, just notice if anything has shifted your mood. No judgment, just notice. And then in the evening, take a second to think, did I see any patterns today? That's it. It's like a mini workout for your brain.
Now, if you take away only one thing for building self-control, let it be this. Practice. The pause. Seriously. That moment you get an annoying email and you feel that hot surge of frustration, just stop. Don't do anything. Breathe. Count to 10, whatever it takes. In that tiny little space you create, that's where you take back control. Sounds so simple, but is an absolute game changer. Want a few more pro tips to level up your skills? Okay, here you go. First, pay attention to your body. Where do you feel your emotions? Is stress always in your tight shoulders? That physical feeling is pure data. Second, upgrade your emotional vocabulary. Instead of just happy or sad, get specific. Are you feeling disappointed or frustrated, content or elated? Getting the label right makes it way easier to handle. And last, when you have a difficult moment, do a little debrief with yourself. Ask, what just triggered me? And what's the lesson here? This turns setbacks into setups for next time. Because that's what this is all about, building a system that lets you learn and achieve anything you want. Inspire it, learn it, elevate it. For more tools and resources to keep going, check us out at www.elevena.it.
So as you get better and better at these skills, you'll start to notice something amazing. This isn't just about making your own life better. The journey of mastering your emotions actually starts with you, but it ends up influencing everyone and everything around you.
And there's a really cool scientific reason for this. It's called emotional contagion. You know how a yawn can spread through a room? Well, emotions do the exact same thing. Your brain has these things called mirror neurons, and they make you subconsciously copy the expressions and body language of people you're with. And when you do that, you actually start to feel what they're feeling. It's wild. We're all constantly passing emotions back and forth like a cold, but without even knowing it.
And this right here is why emotional intelligence is an absolute superpower for any leader. A truly great leader doesn't just hear what's being said. They can walk into a meeting and just feel the room. They can sense the tension or the excitement or the anxiety. And then they can use their own calm and focus to steer the whole group's mood in a better, more productive direction. So, let's wrap it all up with this thought. Emotional intelligence isn't just some clever toolkit for getting ahead. It's so much bigger than that. It's about how you show up in the world, and it ripples out to affect every single person you meet. It's really the foundation for things like kindness, compassion, and true character. So the question isn't, can I get better at this? We've already seen that the answer is a definite yes. The real question I want to leave you with is, what are you going to do with it? So if you're ready to move beyond just surface-level learning and dive into something deeper, make sure you subscribe for more content just like this. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. Now go out there, get inspired, and elevate your world.